let's jump in here, Bob, to the business. I've got the press release. And Bob, let's have a very frank conversation. Okay.
Sure.
You and I are friendly. And I'm going to ask you what I think are some tough questions, but it's going to give you the opportunity to explain to our audience what's really going on at Deco and what you're doing to turn the company around. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I've
So
got,
you already published the first one
no,
already?
no, I haven't published a press release. I have it in my hand.
Okay.
And
So is
here's,
this,
go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry, so I'm excited to hear that. Is this going to be one a stock one and then this is gonna be a second release
No,
or
it might be done together.
oh, okay.
We might put the video with the release. Haven't quite decided yet, but I want to give you an opportunity, kind of an unfiltered opportunity to talk to our mutual audience about some things that you've done. Okay. I know you've invested, quite a bit in Deco, and we're going to talk about that. I think if I publish the press release now as it is, people are going to look at it. They're going to maybe roll their eyes and they're going to say, here we go again. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got to convince them of what's different. And here's what I'd like to bring up respectfully. So you had a deal, with Deco. Deco had a deal with Signify years ago on the IP. Okay. And that didn't all work out so well. And you ended up in court, right, against Signify on the IP, a bankruptcy court, but they were trying to collect on that. Reps, you've had issues with reps not being paid. And then I believe that some of the reps stayed with you through the transition and they did get paid. Others did not get paid. And then we had a press release with PQL and everybody was kind of out to get Deco. Here comes PQL, the white knight. They're here to save the day. And, that didn't work out. And you're either in litigation with them or you're about to be in litigation with them. But, it's not all, butterflies and rainbows with PQL. So now you've got new people, you've got new investors. How is this going to be any different? The floor is yours.
Okay. So why is it different this time is historically when we open up the Deco lighting, we always thought about having investment. We always thought about having money because you think that basically any business could be successful if you have unlimited funding from family, from generations, from some sort of investors. And then we did that for a long time, obviously with Deco lighting. So this time around, when we actually partner up with Andy and PQL, uh, we they promised us that they're gonna give us the money and they're in the lighting business. But honestly, I never looked that deep to see that they're basically PQL is just another importer. They bring in white goods from overseas. They put their own labels and they really don't have their own patent. They don't have their own products. They don't have anything of their own to offer. So the partnership, just I'm just the partnership was basically for them to put up some money and we show them how the sales rep organization works, and obviously the partnership's supposed to be 50% and they only put 10% of the money. They took over the financing, and as you know, they pick and choose who to pay and not to pay, and that's why we couldn't go through our reorganization chapter, basically chapter 13 that we had. So that was a part of the mistake that we did, because thinking, okay, we're gonna bring an investor and we're gonna bring another lighting company to help us to lift.
Bob,
This
may I ask, did you not know that they were basically in the white goods industry importing when you did the deal with them? Or was it that you were in such a bad way, you kind of needed that regardless?
Both. I wasn't deep. I wasn't deep. I didn't look at it literally with the microscope to see that actually there are white goods, because there were at that time, obviously they were the only choice, or the only people that they came, that they basically offered us some financial. And you got to understand, the money that they put and to reorganize, we kind of matched it. So it was basically combination of both. And I didn't know that. I mean, later on, we find that hard way that are just another box, importer. They just do the white label goods. This time around, believe me, I had multiple investors. I had family member. They come in and they offer us, oh, let us give you the money. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think Deco needs that it doesn't need actually just money. Deco need resources. Deco needs somebody to take or what we work for a long time with the new product, with what we wanted to do with the line. We need somebody that basically, when we come up with the idea, somebody to execute it, not just the money execution. We wanted somebody who's been in the lighting industry. So this time around, I partner up with the kind of two gentlemen from China. They're actually in manufacturing. They actually have the patent of the third generation for basically flat panels doing two-piece. They're a publicly traded company. They have three different manufacturings. One is a pole light with LED, with the partnership with a group of their friends, and they're in China. And then they have another factory they have their own in Vietnam. And yeah, and then they actually a manufacturer, and they want to get into US. They want to be in a lighting business in US. And I think this synergy between us, knowing the lighting business, knowing the marketing, and having a real manufacturing partner that can bring the cost of the goods. Now we don't have a middleman that we need to go and make a tooling for us, so we can actually, they live in US, they have offices in China, they have offices in Vietnam. And in top of that, they are financially strong. I think this time around we could be a real lighting company. So that's why we picked to partner up with them.
Okay, well, thank you for that answer. And I want to go to two things. You mentioned earlier about some of your investment, and PQL invested and you invested. How much have you personally invested in Deco over the last couple of years?
And it's not personally me. It's me and my younger brother, Siamek. We have invested on, obviously, on litigations for to go with Benjamin, and also with the bankruptcy. So we had an average of literally $38,000 to $50,000 a month personally, that between me and my brother has pumped, and we're still doing it. And when Sienna, I don't know if you know, the bank that actually owned and had a basically a blanket on the whole business, for the patent, for businesses, for everything else. At that time, we owed them about 8.9. So we paid it off close to, through the business, obviously, we paid it off almost $4 million. And we went to front of the judge, and we asked the judge that basically go ahead and replace Sienna with our bank. Basically, we became the bank and the first lien holder on the business. So between me and my brother, imagine Sienna had $8.9 million. We went and we said, you know what, we become the bank. And the judge said, as long as you don't have you're not raising the debt more. I don't care if it's Joe or another bank or Chase Bank or Bank of Sinai owns it, as long as somebody wants to replace it. So that's why we got a court order to be replaced Sienna and become a lien holder on a blanket on the whole business. So the money that we took was from basically was from me and my brother, close to somewhere around over $4 million, beside all the money that we have done to the litigation. I would say another couple of $1 million on top of that. So
You know, those are some of the numbers I remember seeing in some of the court documents, and I sat in on a few of the conference calls as well discussing that. So here's the question: why?
because this is what we because I believe in the business, I believe in the product, and I believe to the the name and legacy of the colliding. I think we had made a mistake by maybe growing too fast. A big part of this whole puzzle is the fact that how we negotiate with the trustee and giving a portion of what's going to come from the litigation to pay off basically to signify to the trustee and all the people and the reps that we owe. And I think that's how we structure, because we could one thing that we could have done, we could actually foreclose on the business, but we wanted to make sure we're giving a portion of our our litigation, which is about 30%, goes to pay the trustees and the people on this lawsuit. And then there obviously
Will some reps see some money?
yes, yes, the reps will see the money. I think there is actually we have some ERC money that is going to be released. That was carved out to pay for the reps and the trustee. So I'm pretty much sure they're going to be getting some money on this when this lawsuit finalized. There will be a good money. Hopefully there will be a good recovery for everybody from obviously the litigation with Benjamin Palladium. Yes, and PQL, by the way.
So Bob, I think this is good because I don't think our audience is aware of all of this. So it's great for you to get your message out. I want to go back to my question about why. Don't you think, I respect the passion, the family, the tradition. Don't you think the name Deco has just been dragged through the mud? Because you have so many reps that are unhappy with you. You've had other media accounts that have just written terrible things about you, and you don't get the chance to respond. Don't you think that the brand of Deco maybe is too far gone, that you would have been ahead to call it something else, XYZ lighting?
Yes, well, you gotta understand, we were a lighting company, and a lot of rep and a lot of people, they made a lot of money when we were performing and we had the service before what happens. So I think people maybe just remember only the bad times, or maybe a short time when somebody's at fault. But this is kind of relationship. And basically the lighting business is, I know, is a very small industry. It's very close and tight industries, and you got to understand, with people who running the business is mostly like a people person. And I know the brand is out there just like other companies. I mean, you understand, a lot of people, a lot of big corporate people, even Donald Trump had companies that have been bankrupt. Target had a bankruptcy. You had Forever 21, for example. They had a bankruptcy and everything else, but people still support and buy because it's the quality of the light. It's what innovation that you bring into the lighting, and what you do. People don't care. They don't know about who run the business in the past, but they care about the products and what you can bring in. So we're hoping with our new partnerships I mean, I take a responsibility for what happened. Obviously, I'm in a, we're in the lighting business. I've been in a distributor before. I'm in a manufacturing before. I understand there's some bad taste in the mouth for the reps, but uh, the average electrical contractors, consumers, specifier, engineers, architects, they don't know about what happened to Deco.
And they
They
probably
like,
don't care. They probably
and
don't.
they, no, not probably. They really don't care. I run to people all the time, and then I said, "Oh, I'm from Deco." Like, "Oh my God, I love your products. I've been using it. I love the products and everything else." But they don't know. The only people that they actually have a bad taste and unfortunate what they got a little bit, they're not really, satisfied. It's obviously the reps. But even the distributors, they still, we get calls all the time. People calling, "When are you guys back on? We like to develop the products," because or average contractor, developer, they still love the products. I mean, we have a quality products and they're gonna ask for it. And my commitments and my passion is that we're a brand. We're gonna push the brand, and we're gonna make sure the demand is there for distributor goes to the rep, and then rep, hopefully we can establish some new relationships and then basically,
We're going to come back to the rep, but I find it interesting. Here you sit here and you tell me you're taking responsibility for what happened, but really you weren't running the day to day when a lot of those mistakes were made.
yes, yes, yes. You know what? I've been to the distributions. I grew up in the distribution, grew up in distribution. I believe it or not, after my dad passed away, he left me, he left the port because he used to be a distributor with my brother, and he left his will to me, and I still own a portion of electrical distribution. But I know the rep business. I know the relationship. It's all about the
Do you
relationship.
think you can
Yeah.
get the reps back? And have you started talking to reps? Do you think you will be able to get reps to represent your line?
Yes, we actually had people actually today they called us and they're interested, for basically repping the products. I do have other business, a friend actually in another state that called me. So we do have a few people already as a rep that they wanted to do. One of the challenges is that obviously PQL has been uh, advertising that they took over Deco lighting and they're a new Deco, and and basically they are infringing with our patents, selling our products, rebranding our products, rebranding our names and everything else. And once those rep find out, then there is actually there's a legal battles, and the PQL won't be able to sell the products or patents. I think maybe some of those rep because they still were a Deco and PQL rep. I think they will realize that they could go back to Deco and still, we'll be able to support them on the business.
Okay, so with your new relationship, will you continue to have many of the same products that you've had in the past? Or will you be launching new products or a combination of both?
We are launching. That's something is very touchy. I wanted to bring that up. We had a gentleman. I'm sure you remember. His name was Mr. Bailey, Mike Bailey. That he was our basically our designer. You
I
remember back Mike Bailey.
don't recall him. I'm sorry. I don't recall him, but go ahead.
Okay, Mike Bailey, I would say was like one of the top lighting design. It was like I would say he was like a Gucci of the lighting, and then he actually helped to do with access lighting. He worked for a lot of very top lighting companies, including DMF lighting. He actually had a patent on DMF lighting, the recessed light. So in the last few years, during even the COVID, we have he was on our payrolls, and we continue innovating with the new products. So we do have about 4 or maybe 6 family of lighting products that Mike Bailey worked for many years, that we never got the opportunity because we didn't have enough money, we didn't have the resources financially to launch it. So since ABS and with our new partnership, we're taking all those the product that is, some of them are patent pendings, and we have the files. We're going to launch all of those products, and we want to bring his legacy back. We don't want it to go to the waste, and we're going to make sure that we launch in our new downlight. We have a new architectural outdoor lighting. We have some indoor linear, and so we have about 4 new family of the products that we are going to release soon. And now that we have the actual direct manufacturing, so you will see some new products that has been designed for many years. I mean, for a few years, but we never got a chance to release it. So we're going to release those products soon.
Okay, so when you mentioned your strategic relationship, you talked about panel lights, and panel lights sure don't get me excited because there's just no money to be made in a panel light. There is an architectural lighting. So
Yeah.
is your direction going to be more architectural than white goods?
Yes, so the white goods, it's obviously everybody has. No, the product that we're talking about is all architectural downlight, is architectural outdoor lighting, very high-end architectural outdoor lighting, and also linear lighting. So those are the products that we're gonna be pretty much doing the specification grades. We're gonna hold the specification grades with some of those lightings. On the white goods, we because of the patent from our partners, the manufacturing, it's basically a when you make a flat panels, it usually is about 3 piece. So we have a patent of doing it, basically a 1 piece LED light. So it's something that we're gonna be making some architectural LED panels, but instead of being just a flat panels, we're gonna have a design to it at very, very reasonable price because of the way we're manufacturing it. So that's what we're gonna be known for, that products.
Good. All right. One other thing I think about is I'm reading this between 2022 and 2023, the value of goods imported to the U.S. from Mexico increased almost 5% to 475 billion, according to the Commerce Department. Chinese imports fell 20% in the same period to 427 billion. So as a country, we're getting a little more from Mexico now than from China. And when I talk to a lot of people, for various reasons, they would prefer to not have products made in China. What are your thoughts about that?
One of the reason I think is because of the tariff from China, and that's why I mean, face it, almost even the product that's coming from Mexico is the actual raw goods or bases comes, imports from China to Mexico, and they do they do something to it to make it to import it. So they're trying to avoid the tariff. But one of the advantage of our partnership with our new partner is they actually have 2 factories in China, and they have a very large factory in Vietnam. And from Vietnam, there is no tariff manufacturing to come to basically to US. We still gonna continue doing some assemblies and some products to our Mexico relationship that we had. And we're also going to be making some stuff in our own factory. We actually took over during this bankruptcy. We actually leased out our building to a window and door company. Now, as of January 1st, we actually We didn't extend the rent or lease, and we actually took over our own building. So we actually back on our own building. We have
Again, I want to make sure the one in LA or the one in Mexico?
in Commerce.
In Commerce. Okay. Okay, I
The
understand.
city of Commerce, we used to be only having offices here.
Okay.
It was only offices, and we kind of moved everything to PQL in Mexico. But now we took back our building.
Okay.
So now we have
You own
inventories.
that building. If I'm correct, you own that building.
Yes, we own the building. Yes, we own the building, and now we basically we brought Deco back in our own building. So we actually our shipping and assemblies is going to be back on our own facility again. That's
So,
another.
I want to open the floor to you. And is there anything that any closing comments that you want to tell our audience?
I wanted to thank you for the people that actually the reps, the vendors, and the people and friends in a business that even through the tough time, even up to now, they kind of supported us so far, and then they always give us the juice and the power to move on. And honestly, if it wasn't because of some of the support that we had from them, we would have had a second thought. But we believe it or not, we have gotten a lot of support from some of these reps, some of these manufacturers and architects and developers that they give us this, Bob, when are you coming back? When are you gonna do this the right way? And that's what give us the hope, and also for us to invest not just the money, just the time, and to come back and revive Deco, again, and build the name, because the human being, to be honest with you, we always forgetful. We will forget. Yes, there was some
We're
bad
forgiving.
time.
We're forgiving. As humans,
Yeah,
we're
forgetting.
forgiving.
Yeah, even if, yeah, forgiven. So I know once we do, once we come back, people say, what, and we learn a lot from our mistakes. So you gotta understand, we learn from mistakes. So it's just like you fall a few times, but when you get up, you know what to do and not to do. And I would say we're definitely more experienced than some other people that know lighting business.
Okay. Bob, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful and have a great trip.